All flights from India to Australia will be temporarily halted as the South Asian country continues to deal with a record-breaking COVID outbreak. The Prime Minister says repatriation flights will resume as soon as possible and the most vulnerable will be prioritised on the first planes back. Let's get more on the situation for Australians currently stranded in India. I'm joined now by Annie Jetty, who's been in India since October 2019. Annie, thanks for your time. And what's your reaction to this latest development?
We are no words, actually, no words. But yeah, we are hoping for the best to come back, to get back home, back in Melbourne, because there's been several times of burglary at home. I don't know what's happening. And my husband, my son, everyone's under stress, like, what's happening, Mama? My little one. All the time he looks at me, he's like, oh my God, what's happening, Mama? So I don't know, like, why this situation has come up, but so scared to look up for the news, like, what's next, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard on us, no income, and we are living on my father-in-law's pension, and so we were supposed to help him out, but this time it's like, these times are really, really hard for us. I don't know, like, hopefully government would take some decision for us, at least for the Australian citizens, permanent residents who are eagerly waiting to get back home since a year and a half.
Describe to us what it's like there at the moment in India.
It's exactly like what you can see on the news. It's people everywhere dying, and it's hard. It's heartbreaking to look at them crying for oxygen, sitting there, and just in 2 minutes, once the cylinder arrived, and he's dead in front of me. I've seen that, and it's so heartbreaking when you see people gasping for something like, can you help me, and there's nothing that we can help. Yeah, it's really hard times now.
Yeah, it's so hard to even imagine. You've had coronavirus, Annie, but are you worried that you could become infected again with this new strain there?
No, I'm taking my safety measures. I'm not going out, staying inside.
Is that what the family's doing? Sheltering at home, basically? A sort of a self-imposed lockdown, I suppose.
Yes, that's the reason we left the city yesterday. We came to our town where my father-in-law, everyone's here. It's not much populated, so at least there is no much population pollution like in city. So we are taking our best. We are doing our best to stay safe, staying inside.
Describe to us how you've gone about trying to get home in all this time and really what you've come up against.
So you've been trying for almost more than 9 months now. There is a competition to get back home. Whenever DFAT sends emails to book your tickets and all, it's like by the time we jump on laptop and get it done, it's like sold out already. And because of the burglary thing, we were like, oh, we have to go. What's happening? Because I don't have family out there. I've got
your home back in Australia has been burgled while you've been away, right?
Several times.
Wow.
It's been like more than 2 times now. That is what the police say. And they say like there are squatters living at my home. I'm so scared now. I don't know what's next.
And with this added restriction and then the government saying priority will be given to the most vulnerable, I mean, you've come up against it in all this time. What do you do now? Do you just give up trying at all for now? How do you feel about that?
I'm still trying. I don't want to sit back. I'm still trying, emailing, doing whatever I can, and just talking on phone. I'm trying to reach people out there. Like, they need to know what's happening. It's not easy here. No income, especially financially. And you're stressed out emotionally as well, because you're being like more than a year now You haven't seen your friends, like I've got only few though, but still, yeah, I want to get back to my home as soon as possible.
And where are you
And my
getting...
little one, Mrs. Melbourne, sorry. Yeah.
No, yeah, your little boy.
Yeah, he's 6 years old, and
Yeah.
his schooling was supposed to start in January,
Yeah.
grade 1, actual schooling, and he says, Mama, when I'm going to go to my school? And poor thing, he doesn't know what's happening around.
Yeah.
I just say, like, we are going soon, beta, we are going soon. That is what I can say.
Yeah, very
He don't
confusing
know
for
what's
them.
happening there.
Yeah, well, confusing for everyone indeed. But what support or assistance are you getting, and is it from the government? Is it for people in a similar situation to you, or is it from communities back home?
Back home, definitely I'm getting support from my father-in-law, because he's a retired person. He's getting a little bit of pension. He's trying to help us out from his pension, like domestic things that we do, like groceries and all, vegetables and all. So, but Australian government has given this superannuation thing to claim. So my husband claimed his superannuation, and we are holding on that money in order to get back to Australia. So, because the ticket prices are like really high, really high, and we are so into like, it's not that, it's double, triple the price, the tickets, and it's not just one. We have to get 3 tickets. So we are saving that money. We are not going to spend that, because I don't know when I'm gonna receive any help from government again.
Yeah, so you obviously have lost any jobs back in Australia if you've been away this long, and so is your only income your father-in-law's pension for everybody there?
Yes, except for that, nothing else. There was child subsidy, but it has stopped once we came here after 2 months, and then my husband lost his job, and me, no job. It's like, I don't know, we have to start over again once we get back to Australia. It's not easy for us. Even here in India, once we get back also, it's not that easy.
And
it's not easy.
Yeah, you said how confusing it is for your son. How is your husband and son and yourself coping in all of this?
We're just staying together. That's the best part. We are trying to help each other, because especially last month, April 14th was our repatriation flight from Chennai to Darwin. But unfortunately, my husband and son were negative, whereas only I got positive, and I was quite surprised, like how I got this, because I was so safer in this place. I don't know, but somehow I've got this positive, and then that's the hardest thing. We have made up our mind and all, and there are several burglaries at home. We were thinking like, okay, we're gonna fix everything. We are going now, spend like 2 weeks in quarantine, and then go back to Melbourne. And then finally this result, it made like, we were completely in shock. I don't know, my little one was crying too, while I was crying, like what's happening with us? It's really hard. It's really hard to go through all this at this age, especially for my son.
Yeah, indeed.
It might affect his mind, I don't know, but yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. People need to know it's not easy. We are not just sitting here enjoying ourselves. No. We really want to get back to Australia.
Yeah, you're up against it there, Annie Jetty. I can hear the emotion there. Thank you for explaining this situation to us, and hoping for a positive outcome for you soon.
Thank you so much. Fingers crossed. Yes, thank you.